You're listening to RynoRyder's podcast, The Word. It's a show that fights to break down that alluring curtain of Hollywood and tries to explain what life is really like living as an independent filmmaker, as a filmmaker in general in Los Angeles. I am joined today by Josh Boyer.
Hello, I am glad to be here today to talk with Ryan.
So here we are, episode 2. We recorded episode 1 yesterday. If you listened to the first episode, thank you. It was a little bit more personal, a little bit more kind of maybe out there for some people. But today's episode, we're going to get to what the essence of what the show is going to be, or what the show is, which is talking about movies, talking about Hollywood, and talking about the grind and everything it takes to try and make it. And today's episode 2, I'm going to talk about the Hollywood curtain and what I mean when I say I want to destroy Hollywood, because that's a bit extreme. Or at least some people might take it that way. Today's episode is sponsored by nobody. So if you'd like to sponsor the show, hit us up. All right. So let's get into it, right?
Why don't you just start by telling them what destroy means?
That sounds like a good idea.
Step 1.
Okay, so when I say destroy Hollywood, Josh, why don't you try to explain, because you know what I'm talking about when I say that. So why don't you, I want to hear from your perspective.
From my perspective, it's such a big, that one sentence is such a big thought. It's very hard to attack as one word. That's why we were talking before this in the pre-show about what we mean by destroy. With everything happening right now with Hollywood, like you were saying, tearing it down from a bunch of people up here, all running it, 2 or 3 people basically, and then everybody doing the scramble, the LA thing. I was watching Sam Jones the other day, and it talks about, you work 2 jobs to try to work a job that barely pays the rent, the one you actually want to do, and you run around and it's just a dead hustle of competing and nonstop, and it's very, I'm a little lost in that one. Got a little lost.
And Josh's perspective, just so you know, he's been in Los Angeles, just as long, I think probably longer than I have, and comes from an acting background. That's his thing. I don't, I used to think I wanted to be an actor, and I put myself in my first 2 movies, but I no longer have ambitions of it unless I want to, but so I couldn't imagine what coming at it, attacking it from trying to become a successful actor is. I know from my side that I've looked from the outside, and I can see that the gap is getting smaller and smaller and smaller,
The chance of actually like surviving as an actor,
as pilot season, okay, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like pilot season to me is a joke. Yet every actor I know still says, "Well, gotta stay home, gotta stay here. It's pilot season. Could cross my fingers and hope."
You throw it out there. I have one of my acting buddies, and he actually is successful, but he sits at home. He has 3 laptops, all logged into 3 different casting networks, and for about 6 hours, just update, reading sides. Enough to where he's getting auditions, but
and that's awesome. And so, again, from the actor side, I don't know what that perspective is like, but I can only imagine. So the I guess the proof behind what I'm saying, in terms of this Hollywood curtain, and could be a lot of people listening to this that don't live in LA, don't have absolutely no clue. That's who I'm talking about. Those are the people, the people that look at billboards and be like, did you know there was another, you know, it's like people that are just completely unconnected from the industry that I live and eat and breathe. Those people look at Hollywood and celebrities and actors as this magical, you know, it's like Wizard of Oz. It's completely like Wizard of Oz. Those of you who haven't seen Wizard of Oz, this is your movie recommendation. Go see fucking Wizard of Oz. It's also one of my favorite, ironically enough, 2 days in a row, old movies. But it's true, it's a great movie. You know, Dorothy, and there's this magical Wizard of Oz, and literally behind the curtain is a fraud.
Yeah, okay. It's like the whole glitz and glamour of, I drove out here from Pittsburgh and the whole, I'd never been in LA, but I've been to California.
Tell them where you're from. We got time.
All right, real quick, 2 minutes from Pennsylvania, a very, very, very small town called Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania, and no, it's not New Jersey. So
no reality show.
Yeah, it's not me. I don't even normally say I'm from Jersey Shore, because even though I say I'm from Pennsylvania and then I tell them I'm from Jersey Shore, they immediately
they're confused.
They have no idea. Yeah. Grew up on a farm, middle of nowhere. All I knew basically, because Ryan talked yesterday about how when he grew up, movies was the one thing you always believed in or wouldn't let you down. I didn't understand why I liked movies when I was a kid. Growing up, I just knew that I liked them, and then of course when you're younger, like the fame and everything, you're like, whoa, I like movies, so I'm gonna be an actor. But saying that, where I grew up, when I actually told someone I finally was going to go to college, which my parents made me get an accounting degree with theater degree, they wouldn't let me go to college without
that makes perfect sense.
But
your whole families are accountants.
But the second I told everybody back home that I was going to Pittsburgh University and I was going to get a theater degree, almost everybody thought I was either gay or had no idea what I was doing, which I kind of didn't have any idea what I was doing. I just knew that I liked movies. I got into the game way late. I was 20 by the time I started doing it. My first acting class, my scene partner never showed up, and I had to do a sexual scene with the acting teacher, which was a girl, and it was awkward. Super awkward. And I didn't know it was. I had to say the line "hoity-toity," and I said "hotty toddy." Like it was a mess until I finally found someone to guide me. But yeah, moved out here. I was going to get off the Hollywood exit, and this idea of like I just exactly traveled across the entire United States with my Jeep, hauling my girlfriend at the time's car behind it. Got the whole, just packed it up and did it. Like you have to dive in, which is scary enough driving across country. And
doing anything. I mean, I'm sure again, I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to get caught off guard, outside. There's probably tons of people that have exact same stories that are, completely I traveled to Harvard to get a business, what I mean? Whatever, But Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, if you've never been, or if you've never lived, and especially if you're not in the industry, it just has this draw to it. I mean, look, you came from across the country. I came from up north, and like I said yesterday, my high school teacher, you need to be in Hollywood. Like he knew, you know what I mean? Like that's the place you go. I can't relate to East Coast or New York or whatever, but like if you want to make movies, which is like what both of us grew up wanting to do, not knowing how to get in or which way we wanted to go in.
I had absolutely no idea.
Yeah. Actor, I'll be an actor, you know what I mean? Like whatever. Both chose to move to Hollywood and move to Los Angeles because we knew that's where we needed to be.
Well, stage was bigger in that area more because it's closer to New York City, of course.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just like you said, the opportunity isn't there. There's more opportunity, honestly, and film to survive than there is in theater, just because of the rehearsal time and everything. We're out here, you can do it on your own and then go in.
So, talk about, I'm not following this.
I know, I was like,
you know what I mean?
we
Like,
haven't
it's just
hit
like,
one of the top topics.
well, I'm
yet.
trying, I had it super, so basically what happened, let me explain this, will maybe make sense. If somebody's listened to yesterday's episode,
Okay.
and I was listening to today's, or episode 2, in a row, or sequentially, this will make sense. I decided to do a podcast show like 3 months ago, and did all the steps and do it. And the first thing, I didn't want to just get on and like ramble, and like I wanted to know what I was going to talk about, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and I hadn't given my talk at USC yet. I hadn't, you know, there was a lot of things I didn't. It's like once I decided to like put my shit out there, I hadn't done it, and this was like my first idea. So I wrote a very detailed, I did like 3 different drafts of it, outlines for the show, like minute by minute, you know, what we're gonna hit, what topics, and what I want to say, and stuff like that. After doing one and now doing this one with Josh sitting and being more involved and not, you know, operating a camera, I'm gonna stay on topic,
Yeah.
like for the episode that we picked, but you know, feel free to you know, bounce around in ideas. So the term to go along with that Hollywood curtain, you know, mentality, the term, like, that's the business, you know, or that's how it is. Like, be honest, how many times, like really think, take a second, how many times have you ever heard that's just how it is? Like, in terms of like auditioning, acting, booking, movie, anything industry related. How many times do you think you've heard that's just how it is, or that's what it is? I'm gonna take a second, I'm gonna think too. I mean, off the top of my head, at least a dozen times. Like, and like at legitimate points of like, well, why am I not getting paid, you know, up front, or why is your sales percentage, you know, 30% when the other guys was 20%, you know, that's just how, you know what I'm saying? Like, those types of situations, 20 times probably, 20 times.
Oh my goodness, at least from every acting teacher that you ever have, you know, like, this is the way it works, this is how it goes. I mean, they say it every time. Even though there's no set way to do it, they just, you're forced into doing what they want, no matter what. It's, you know, like you said, it's just, you try to break the mold, and no, that's not right. This is how it is.
And again, to relate to any other industry, I'm sure look, people, okay, let's go back to film school. I'm in film school, Art Institute Seattle, shout out, right? Like, first semester, I take a film theory class. Like, you're more like in acting, creative, you know, stuff like that. You know, do you remember your first like acting class? Like, you were so excited, like, I can't believe I'm going to school for this, for something that I love. That's what that film theory class was for me. I was like, holy shit, I get to sit for 4 hours and listen to an instructor talk about film theory, why films are what they are. And the day 1, minute 5, on the blackboard writes, there's 4 things you need to know. I forgot 3 and 4. Number 1, film is an art form. Number 2, film is a business. And to his credit, I mean, he tried to make a movie and he failed right before I did Black, and I was like, I did it, you can't, you pussy. And he had all the students, all the school, like, working for him for free. I mean, he had like 25, 30 crew. I had like 2 or 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but to his credit, he was, to this day, I 100% agree with him. Film is an art, first and foremost. That's how it was invented. It was invented it was, you know, moving pictures as an invention, but like, you know, it started as a way people could watch a story on a screen. You know what I mean? It was a technological advance. It's a very weird thing because it was technically a technical advance, right? Edison,
Yeah.
you know, was the first to make film. I'm pretty sure it's Edison. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or put together moving pictures, and then, you know, it became an art form, and then it became a business. How can we sell tickets instead of, oh my God, look at this incredible invention that I've made. Gather around, people. Look at this. You know what I mean? You know, the first stagecoach or whatever. Like you know, chewing gum. Look at this. Look at what I've created. And then how do we monetize it? Just like any other business, any other thing that's ever been created and done. So I get that. However, I have yet to come across an industry other than like music or, you know, or something like that, something that's semi-creative, but just something that's so dominating in terms of like how much money and how much power, like the studios have, like media company, you know what I mean? There's like 5 of them, and they control everything. And they spend billions of dollars, and they make billions of dollars. That's insane. That's crazy for a fucking, for a piece of art. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's just
That's insane. Would you spend $1 billion marketing like a song? And all a song is an artist, you know, putting his feeling, you know, being creative.
Some people aren't worried about the money.
Well, it's just, it's gotten to a point that it's just like, and here's the thing is to go back to, Hollywood is no longer innovating as a business. They're innovating technologically in terms of like, you know, how big and how, you know, special effects and all that kind of stuff. But they stopped innovating on the most important part of, to me, why movies were ever invented in the first place, which is to tell a story to people in mass, you know, and have it be about the experience. Like, you know, gather around the campfire. Let me tell you a story.
Yeah, but that's like, it's just ideally, like, that's a dream, where now it's just like, maybe I'll just blow something up bigger, or make more of a, you know, more guts and gore, instead of actually having the content be...
There's a reason we didn't die during the Stone Age as humans. It's because at the end of the day, we would gather around a campfire and somebody would paint a picture or tell a story, or, you know, or communicate somehow to other people, other dangers, or you know what I mean, or stories of good and bad, of, you know, how you should live your life, how you shouldn't. Like, think about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the reason we've evolved, and that's the reason we've fucking grown and like slaughtered it as a species. You know? So
was Edison the first one ever to film? It was actually the caveman.
No, for like like motion pictures. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
I know.
I'm
just fucking with you.
Projecting a still image 24 times in a second, all that kind of stuff. So that's I guess that's, you know, kind of the crux, the juxtapose of my my inspiration to speak out and say anything, you know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, as I'm doing this right now, like, I'm like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm 100% confident in it, but at the same time, there's little slivers of like, fuck, man, like, would you say this stuff to, like, you know, like CEO of Disney? You know what I mean? Like, what if you got a meeting with him and he wants to pay you like $1 billion? You know, there's that little thing. And then, do you know what I'll bounce back to? Yeah, well, what about Harvey Weinstein? Like, you know, and let me tell you something, listeners. I've never met Harvey. sat next to him once. So I never had any interaction or anything with him. Studied his career immensely, as I have any other prolific filmmaker in front or behind the camera. I knew how powerful he was. I knew, like, if you got in with Harvey, you're gonna win an Oscar, right? I knew all of that.
He could literally point at somebody. It doesn't even matter who you are, and he could make you...
Like 100%, 100%. He had that power.
Yeah.
And he equally had the power to point at someone and say, nope, you're not gonna win an Oscar. You're not gonna be in this movie. Like, really powerful stuff. I'm telling you, people, Hollywood works that way. Like, 1, 2 people, like, literally have the power. Right now we're in a fucking pendulum swing, but where was I going? But the you know, the bad of, you know, the stories of the Harvey, like, look, I never personally, you know, saw or experienced, but personally saw and experienced like 60 other douchebags that weren't as powerful as Harvey operate the exact same way. I know it, so it's like, well, yeah, of course it's true. Deny all you want, bro, but you know what I mean? And so when when all that shit, when that started happening, I was literally like the happiest person in the entire world. Literally the happiest person in the entire world. Like, to live and dream and like aspire to be the greatest, or at least like one of the greatest, best known, you know, all-time filmmakers, which is from childhood, exactly what my goal was. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Spielberg. Like, Steven Spielberg is my favorite director, period, filmmaker, ever, period, done, period, ever, period. He is the greatest living director. I aspired to be, I knew I was like, I got it. I can be Spielberg. I can tell story, you know, I can make movies as good as him. I got it. I see what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, I can do that. So I've always aspired to be the greatest filmmaker of all time. To dream of that every hour, every minute, every second of every day, not being able to do it, you know what I mean, having to go through so many hoops and hurdles, like, that's the business, that's just how it is, that, you know, yet it sucks, it draws you here, it pulled both of us here from different parts of the country, and we're just 2 people in America, guys, like there's a million stories out, and some of them are successful, and those successful ones, do you know why they're successful? Because they worked their fucking ass off.
Yeah.
Or they said yes to Harvey Weinstein. You know, in a theoretical, like, you know, sense of the way. So, let me tell you, let me go somewhere with this. You can obviously sense, Josh, you're sitting in the room, nobody else is here in the room. You can obviously sense that I have, like, an insane amount of passion and, like, anger, almost, towards what I'm saying. Is that fair, right, to say?
I'm pretty sure anybody listening or that's even never seen you would agree with that.
Okay. Let me explain why. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. That was part of it. I might have to edit that out. Let me explain why for the audience that's listening, right? We're doing this for people that are listening. So let me explain to you why, if you're hearing like some crazy fire in me, let me tell you why. Is this industry that I just explained to you how much it means to me, like hold it tight, you know what I mean? Like, I love it. I love movies. I love movies like almost more than I love my wife and child. I'm being dead serious. It's pretty close. Pretty close.
You love movies longer because it's your first passion.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
like...
Exactly. So they mean a lot to me, and they mean so much to me. And this industry that I love so dearly almost killed me. Almost killed me. Like straight up. Like I blame fucking Ground Zero for my breakdown. You know what I mean? Like that's why I think the whole Evidence franchise is cursed. Like I got fucked on the first one, you know, and I almost died or killed my family or, you know, X amount of other possibilities from the second one. Cost me a friendship, and you know, both personal and professional. Like, it almost killed me.
Caused me probably the most anxiety I've ever had in my life.
Right, you weren't even there.
Three of us. I wasn't there for when that happened with you that night, but with Daniel, Ryan, and me, all trying to get a movie, like we're working as a team, and then. Your two partners.
And then your quarterback goes down. Like your quarterback goes down, gets like airlifted out of the stadium, like, and you're like, holy fuck, we don't have a backup. Like we have to put the punter in, you know, as the backup QB right now, and we're in the fucking, you know, playoffs.
Don't forget, as the helicopter was leaving the field, it turned around and hit my star wide receiver in the head and knocked him unconscious. You know, it's like. Sweet, so I'm just gonna snap the ball to me.
Yeah.
And hand it off to somebody.
Hand it off
pick
to
up
Abby.
Yeah.
But girls are not girls. Can't play football. But you know, get what I'm saying. Abby's just you know, she's not a producer. Let's be honest.
I mean, we've all had difficult times, and this is business wise, and then it became personal, like as we grew as friends and everything like that. But it's literally one of the hardest times of my life, especially the 9 years I've been out here, because when you're just doing the acting thing and auditioning and going on it, at least you know it's clear cut. Here's your sides, you learn them, you practice them, you go audition, and then you go back. This was, like you said, you wake up, you were working, you know, you're in the middle of the day,
and it's like, what do I do? Yeah, I'd be like, produce, Josh. You'd be like,
let me go read a book.
By the way, that's actually an interesting thing. Let's talk about that for a second. There is no school on how to produce.
No. Yeah. So if someone tells you they know exactly how to produce, odds are they ran their head into a wall 20 times and then were like, oh, this way went way better. Because we just, from people we knew, reached out, and kind of everything we learned was like going to Sundance and learning as we go.
I have an episode outlined that I'm going to talk specifically about produce. And look, I'm a hell of a fucking producer. I know that. You know what I mean? I think anybody can attest to that that's ever worked with me and stuff like that. My IMDb doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? Who cares? But like as a producer, I know I'm good at that. It'd be like I'm a running back and I ran for 2,000 yards in a season. I know I'm a good running back. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. I've tasted it enough that I know what I'm doing. I just haven't done it at scale, like, you know.
Yeah, but you haven't had the opportunity to do it there.
But right, exactly. Exactly my point. There is, so I don't want to get like super into producing, but like that's an interesting thing that like I've kind of been thinking about, which actually is kind of one of the things I want to do. I would love to have like be able to create or come up with some sort of program or something that's like, you know, an educational outlet that could teach, you know, people to be a producer. Like if they looked up to, because look, there's some amazing producers that aren't just like director producers, you know, as well. Like Scott Rudin, like is a fucking beast of a producer, and gets it, and you know what I mean, and knows trends, and like he knows what he's doing. Works with talented filmmakers. Seems like a good dude, you know what I mean, from the surface. We don't know anymore, but like it'd be cool. Okay, when I was at, and I said I wasn't gonna talk about producing, but now I am. When I did my talk at USC, I did a quick like show of hands who wants to be a director, writer, actor. right?
That one person.
There was one girl, one female out of a room about like 50 or 60 kids, and I thought it was so cool because like I love producing, like I love to write, but it's super personal and like tough, you know what I mean, like emotionally. Producing's just fucking like you know what I mean, like let me get to work. I love it. And so it was really cool, and I saw in her face, like she wasn't like, I want to be, she was like, I'm a producer, and I was like, that's so dope. You're not gonna learn. You should quit right now and just go. You should no. You should. She's at USC Film School. She should quit immediately, drop out, go find money, or just fucking take. You know, go and make a movie. She should go and make a movie. Like right now, this second.
Think about it when you were in college and when I was in college. There was no intro to producing class, like intro to acting or acting 1, acting 2, or like Meisner technique or Alexander technique. All those classes for actors, and even sometimes the writers were in there just to be with the actors. The writers would be in there, but there is no intro to producing. There's
intro to producing. I'm talking about you need a fucking doctorate in it if you want to if you want to be big, if you want to be good. You know what I mean? If you want to be successful, like you know what I mean. There are producers that have made movies, and guess what? Those movies suck dick and made zero money. Like they suck dick artistically, like it's a shitty piece of shit movie, like dumb, or made $0. Because to me, like why Scott Rudin is a beast is like he makes billions of dollars and his fucking movies are great. You know what I mean? In general, I don't have his entire list of filmography in front of me, but overall, he's a beast. So, I've decided the reason that, to get back to the aggression and part of why I'm so pissed is that the industry that I love so much. Imagine being in love with a girl, like your dream girl, like soulmate, meant to be, and like she, like you get married, like I mean, devoted your entire life to her, right? And then she, like, fucking cheats on you, or like, you know what I mean, like
doesn't show up on the wedding day.
Not even that. No, you've been married for 30 years.
Okay.
And then she like just cheats on you and just like meh. You know, sorry, I don't know. It's a weird analogy, but like when I go back and I think about it, look, and this didn't happen like that night. You know what I mean? That second, I didn't wake up and be like, "Fuck you, Hollywood." You know, it was just how my mind, like I meditate, I run, like daily, like I climb fucking mountains, I like extreme, like push myself, like I always constantly have like, these are from, like I was trying to climb to like this top of this mountain and fucking slid and fell, and it was longer than, I just went, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was longer, it was about 3 times longer than that. And it was long enough for me to actually have the thought of oh fuck, I might break my legs. Like it was that far that because I was like climbing. Don't tell Abby.
I was just gonna say, Abby, if you're listening, shut it off.
She doesn't listen to any of my stuff. She doesn't consume any of my content.
I've been on one run with Ryan. First of all, his legs are twice as long as mine, so that's not fair. But like, he's not lying up in Topanga Canyon, some of the rocks he climbs, and I'm like, dude, you just ran up a hill for like 2 or 3 miles, and now you're jumping on top of a boulder, this overlook where if you fall up there, there's no one out there to come.
I know.
There's nobody.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. So because the running meditation, like I said, reset button, man. Found out, I was able to self-discover. I was able to discover who I fucking really was. You know what I mean? Without and still had movies as my lover. You know, as my passion. Like I just, when I think about it, like, and I'm being dead honest. I'll be dead 100% honest with you. When I like sit and think about it, and I think about like what happened to me and like the fucking mental breakdown and like all the stress and the fucking, you know what I mean, all the pressure and what it did to me, who I'm fucking invincible, you know what I mean? I'm a machine. Like, if it brought me down, like, what's it gonna do to Tommy, who's like 17 and has dreams and hopes and aspirations, and maybe a rich, you know, or wealthy family, and is gonna go to USC and is so excited to go to film school, you know, and he's going to, I told these kids, I think that's why I scared them. You're gonna go to school, USC film school, like the best, right? The best.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the best in the nation.
No, the best. It's like, where do you want to go to be an actor? Or like football star?
NYU, of course.
Or no, what's the acting one that's in New York? That's super prestigious.
What? Tisch?
Juilliard.
Juilliard.
Juilliard. I graduated from Juilliard. You're hired. You know what I mean? I graduated from USC Film School. You're hired. Like that's the perception.
Well, do you know how much pressure they put on people at a lot of these schools? Some of them have bars on the windows after the first story because they're so into acting and being creative. Right. Like they're afraid that people will hurt themselves because there's so much pressure on people.
I'm not surprised. So Tommy, right?
Poor Tommy.
Like, what if I was able to, and I'm 20 years older than him, and been in the industry that long, right? Doing it, college, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, right? Easily. What if I was able to, like, fucking A, help him, B, change his mind, you know, and C, just encourage and inspire him and show him and teach him just how to do it. You know what I mean? You got questions? Ask me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can go out and make a movie right now, right this second, and you're going to learn so much more. Even if you shoot the entire movie from your phone and you're the only person in the movie, if you go out and you plan and execute a feature-length film, you know, 80, 90 minutes, whatever, take it through post-production, you know, run it through all that, do the color correction, do the mix, take it to, you know, go to Sundance, like, shot, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's like, the process is insane. It's insane that a movie ever gets made, but they do. But, like, anyone can do it now. It just takes
technology's there.
Everything. And I'm gonna, you know this, I'm gonna shoot Kid and Candy Season 2. I'm gonna do a feature-length film.
All from the phone.
All from my cell phone. I'm gonna cut it on my phone. I'm gonna do everything on my phone. I'm gonna release it on YouTube for free. And it's gonna be a feature-length film. I mean, fucking Sean Baker did it. Tangerine. I mean, dude, and I put off watching Tangerine it came out in 2014. I just watched it like a month ago. Because I just, look, I will eventually watch every single movie ever made. I watch a movie a day, at least, and I can't see everything. So if I haven't seen a certain movie and they're like, oh, I can't believe you didn't see Tangerine, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but...
It was on the list, I'm getting there.
But let me tell you, I'll tell you exactly why I put it off. And this was old Ryan, you know, at the time, too. You know, kind of more like arrogant and like, fuck, you know, whatever. I don't know. Tangerine came out and was getting hype, and all that was in the press was he shot it on an iPhone, right? He did it on his iPhone, and it had transvestites. You know, it was about transvestites and whatever. And I was like, well, that's why it's getting popularity. Yeah. Like, you could sell a fucking anything, you know, wrap it in that package, and like, of course, it's gonna get notoriety. So then I watched it like a month ago by myself, and I mean, from minute one, it sucks you into the story. Like, he is one of the best fucking up and coming, emerging filmmakers, storytellers I see right now. And he also did Florida Project, which I watched that as well, and it was brilliant as well. But my point is, like, he did it, and he had the fucking chops for it.
Yeah, well, Having chops is one thing, but
and I've never met him or talked. I'd love to. I want to know how does he understand storytelling so well? You know what I mean? What's his story? What's his background? Because his first film that he went out and did and edited himself, and everything. Like, this first movie that he did is really fucking good. Like, as a story.
That's a good question.
He could have shot that on 70 millimeter with, Henry Fonda.
So I would take that as an invite. So if he does want to stop by and have an interview with you, you might as well take it.
2601 Ocean Park Avenue, Santa Monica, California. My name is Ryan McCoy. Hashtag RynoRyder.
But no, even so, when we started, like Ryan said, we started this over Thanksgiving dinner, this company of ours, and every day I was on set with him and our friend Daniel Wall. I learned more in those days of shooting than you'll ever learn in a class anywhere. So like you were saying, just go out and do it. You can think about doing it your entire time. It's same as acting. You can think about the lines all you want, but until you physically get up and go through the motions in your head and put the work in. It normally comes down to the work. Most people, how many times do we get talked to here? Everybody starts something and nobody finishes anything. It's the follow through and the work.
Yeah, and it's not easy.
Talk.
It's like, when I say making a movie is impossible, I kind of mean it. So nothing's impossible. I also believe that, and I know that and everything. But making a movie is fucking impossible. And I said it yesterday, I still don't know anybody, like a friend that's done what I've done. Start to fit, I'm going to write a movie and produce, you know what I mean? And and take it to AFM, and take it to, you know what I mean? On my platform, my level, in Los Angeles, haven't seen it.
I was in a movie in 2014. It's still being edited.
I know.
It's are you kidding me? I get updates once a year, and I'm like, how is it not done?
Abby has this, she, before we ever met, early LA story, acted in this movie. I forget the name of it. It's on her IMDb. There's a couple of them. But, it still, randomly floats around, and, she'll get a random email or Facebook message from hey, I saw you in blah blah blah. Knock Knock Killers. That's it. Knock Knock Killers. Shout out to Knock Knock Killers.
Can't say I've seen that one. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and she's like, what the fuck? And you know what I mean? That was 15 years ago. Who knows what they're doing, or if they're still around, or alive, or dead, or whatever. So if I can, I literally want to build an army of 12 to 22-year-old kids, boys and girls, that have that I see the same fucking fire and passion for movies that I have. I want to give them my hand, have them, and say, I will help you every step of the way. Because you know what I realized? I was getting fooled. I was looking at so-and-so USC film school student who's 22, about to graduate, and knows way more about fucking cameras and way better editing. This laptop's 5 years old. You know what I mean? I'm not on the cutting edge, people, in terms of technology. I just fucking do. I just get whatever, you know what I mean? And just do. My level of quality isn't, that's not where my head at first goes. We gotta shoot 4K, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, whatever, dude. You know what I mean? Let's just go fucking do it. So, I was getting fooled because, in my head, I was like, they know more about making movies than I do. And then all of a sudden, after a, lightning bolt, I was like, wait a second. They know jack shit about filmmaking. Jack shit. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
They can rattle off all the specs of that camera, but...
Sure. But they know nothing about how what it means. I want to start, I want, come in, I want to build, a year-long internship of, you do 3-4 short film, you know what I mean? But you gotta raise the money, you gotta fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And guess what? Your first one, you get $0. is 0. Your next one you get 100. You know what I mean? Your third one you get 500. Like, you got to fucking prove, you know what I mean? And they might get to the first and second and third one, it's like, oh, it's too, you know, because now it needs to be 15 minutes long instead of 5 or 10. And they'd be like, oh, it's too hard. Like, what am I going to do? You know, like, sorry. But if you do all that and you prove, you know what I mean, and you're still there and your shit's good, then I'll fucking make your help you make a feature-length movie.
Anybody can make a movie with $200 million in their pocket. It's not too hard when you can hire an entire crew behind you. But when you're running around and literally, not saying we did this, but, you know, don't exactly have all the permits sometimes, and you're guerrilla recording stuff on the side of Topanga Canyon or, you know, up in the park somewhere, you do what you have to do to get it done.
Exactly my point. And I mean that's, and look, it's not, I'm coming at this completely theoretical, right? Mostly. Well, I mean, look, I did go to USC and talk. Yeah, I saw the kid. I saw what they did. You know what I mean? There's fucking 20-year-olds in the office here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in touch a little bit, you know, with like younger generation, like super, like 12, 11, 13. You know, I'm not. Which that would be awesome, dude. If they got the fucking in their hands, like, you know, and they love movies and they have the same passion, like, game over. So I really, 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 really want to reach out, inspire young filmmakers. I really think I think it's going to be super powerful. I think it's going to change the industry a little bit. Think if you set up a school where it's like, fuck a degree, fuck, you know, $100,000 or however much it is, whatever, like, come with me and just fucking, as long as you're doing it, I'll support you, you know? I haven't figured out all the details of, you know,
the stupid money
how you
stuff.
that stupid money stuff. But I think that would be cool. And I think I also, like, not even just like, yeah, and this is just like in America, like, I think, imagine if you got a camera in the hands of like, you know, kid in Cambodia or something, I don't know, some third world place, you know, and like gave them every single tool to tell a story through a visual medium. That's power. Like that's powerful as hell. Like, and then as a world, what are we gonna see come from that?
I was gonna say, you can finally look through that person's eyes of what, you know, because filmmaking might not be the exact same for him, or just a different point of view of so many things.
And you know what I just thought of? If somebody says that's ridiculous or you're wrong, like I know that they're wrong because it did it for me. Like, I'm nobody special. I could have been born anywhere on the planet. If I still had the same love and passion for movies, I could have seen the same movie, one movie, like my whole life. There's actually like, I watch it every other month, or every month. Like, Predator is my favorite movie of all time, and I watch it like beyond. I mean, I won't get into it, but like stories are so important and so powerful and can change and do so many things for good. The only bad story is a story badly told. That was good. A bad story is only a story badly told. My grammar may be off, but think about that, right? If I'm a shitty storyteller, I'm gonna lose your attention. You're not gonna listen to me. I may have the most important shit to say to you in the entire world, but if I don't have your attention, it's not going to get through to you. Now, I'm Steven Spielberg, and I'm able to, from the second that little emblem entertainment goes across the screen, and you settle in, you give up. You have my full attention, and he doesn't disappoint. I mean, he's, you know, whatever, little misses, whatever, but like, he won't disappoint you. You know what I mean? Like, people talk to, but like, he works his ass off from inception to completion, and his sole purpose is to do the best he can to tell the most entertaining story he can, because he believes that story is important for humans to hear. So and how many filmmakers, okay, like Jaws, right? Like, how many filmmakers or anybody, like, do you know how many, like, Sally Coffee Maker, 9 to 5 lady in Iowa, Sioux Falls or whatever, her favorite movie is Jaws, and she watches it every month, every week, or, anytime it's on TV or whatever, and every time she just immerses into it. There's millions all over, everywhere. Like, that's incredibly powerful. And he's changed lives because of that power.
Absolutely.
He's changed lives because of his talent. If he sucked, he wouldn't have impacted and changed all those lives. So that's my, you know what I mean? I just thought of this. But, like, there are no bad stories. Well, what about horror movies? No, they still have, you know what I mean? Like they still have lessons to learn, you know what I mean? Unless it's a shitty written script. And if it's a well-told story, either written, verbally, or film, or any medium, if it's well-told, then it's good. I don't know. Is that weird? There's no such thing as bad stories. Only bad storytellers. Just thought of it.
It's almost like who here has seen a bad comedian? A good comedian is normally it's not about the joke; it's the way that they deliver it.
And they're storytellers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And great. Like, they don't, like. It's not like they tell this, like, elaborate. They just, like, tell a story. But they just know how to tell the story.
Absolutely.
That just makes you fucking laugh.
And most of their sets are only 10, 15 minutes long. It's basically a short story on stage to get you, like, a
or
comedy.
like several
It's a
songs.
comedy.
Well, yeah, whatever format, But yeah, it's the same thing. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought. I think I'm gonna quote that today on Insta and see what I get.
Yeah, but how many comedian shows have you been to that can't deliver the story, and then it's just sitting there, and you're like, okay.
So what is it? There are no bad stories, only stories badly told. I mean, I think the grammar. I think it should be poorly told. But I like the bad and badly.
You're asking the math guy, not the English guy. At least you didn't ask me how to spell it.
There are no bad stories, only stories told badly. I'm gonna post it right after this. See if anybody says.
All right, here's a question for you. I was thinking about you were saying how much like camera and film has changed people's life. How much do you think it's going to change Cannon's life? Cannon is his son, and he's already has Cannon.
Yeah.
He's going to be. He's more socially.
Operates the iPad like a beast.
Yeah, like he's more socially famous than we are, and he doesn't even know it yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? When's the first time you think you can go and get?
Well, and actually, and so this is a interesting thing. Again, Abby's not going to hear this. So, but so she believes in me, so she lets me do whatever I want. Which is incredible. And I never try to really like talk to her about it. You know what I mean? Like, let's just whatever. But the reason I think Kid in the Canyon is going to be so dope is that by the time he's 8, 9, 10, because I have like nephews, that are in that like know stuff, but like, dude, he's already gonna have like this little mini machine or this little mini platform already built up, and he can express himself however he wants, if he chooses to or not. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. It's just, but how cool is that gonna be? I mean, like, look, I know Ken, Ken. He's ultimate creative. Like, his imagination is fucking. He definitely got my imagination. I mean, Abby has a great imagination too, but like, I just see it in him. With these like Legos and like the shit he builds and stuff, and just watching him for like, he'll tell these stories and do the voice. I'm like, that's me, man. I did the exact same thing. So it's cool that he'll have this opportunity, this platform to like tell whatever stories he wants. That's gonna be so cool.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no, I think that's great.
We're
Getting close. I got one more thing to talk about, and then we'll do a little movie. What reference or something or suggestion
of the day.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it relates. At least it relates to the beginning of the show.
You remember this?
Yeah. Through a movie.
Yeah.
Suggestion. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about before that is like what it means, the term celebrity, and what that term means. And I was telling Josh right before this, I feel, look, I hate the term celebrity. I want to eliminate the term celebrity as much, as much as I want to burn Hollywood down. I don't want to eliminate celebrity with as much like fervor and, anger as I want to kill Hollywood, but I want to eliminate because I feel bad because, and I couldn't even imagine, but I know because I watch, you know what I mean? Like I consume so much my entire life. I've seen everything, read every story, like everything that I can pretty much put the pieces together. You know what I mean? I have a really good idea, in most cases of why things happen and why people do, in terms of like celebrities and actors and stuff like that. And that's not even counting, that's only like film stars. That's not counting like reality TV stars or pop musicians or anything like that. Let me tell you, I'll finish it up with this. I'm going to tell a story and you were there so you can relate. When we were at Sundance, our second year.
I don't say which year.
And your boy came. I don't remember his name, but you know what I'm saying. Remember we got back from and he and I fucking got into it, and he was saying, why can't, he was basically venting his frustration about why, because he was an actor or wants to be an actor. Why why you need to be a celebrity in order to get roles. And I told him that's the way it is. Right?
Yes.
Period. Like, sorry.
That's the power of it.
That's it. And it was like, it built up and it was like he wanted to fight me. He wanted to fucking
I was there.
Fight me. Yeah.
Within, once again, the stress of like actors, movies, passion.
Exactly. And so, but now, I look back and I actually have a great deal of empathy, and I see where he was coming from, and he's right. There shouldn't be. Well, yeah, he's right. There shouldn't be any need for that. However, the current system that is in place, that exists today, that's the only way you can do it, unless you do it on your own. Which 99.996% of people don't have and will never do.
Yeah. Well, every time we try to get funding, they literally, I guess, almost like when you're a celebrity, you have a worth to a film before it's even out in movies. A lot of people probably
go back and read. William Goldberg is the author. Secrets of the Screen Trade, I believe is the title. It's something of the Screen Trade. I believe it's Secrets of the Screen Trade. Published in 1983. William Goldman is an Academy Award-winning screenwriter. Wrote Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, All the President's Men, amongst several others. Worked in the industry through the golden era, and he basically had as much frustration and angst and anger about Hollywood back then as I have today. I mean, I read the whole entire book. Like I saw it there, and that was 1983.
Yeah, but
shit's not going to change.
The only thing you could do then was write a book, and then how do you get the word out there?
Right. And look, there's a reason nobody knows William Goldman's name anymore.
I didn't know it. Ryan, when he picked me up this morning, was like telling me about it, and I was like, "Well, who is this guy?" And he goes, "Exactly."
Yeah. All right. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We got about a minute and a half. We're at 58.5 minutes.
We'll wrap it up, buddy.
Let's wrap it up with movie suggestions. So the movie suggestion for episode 2 is I just thought of it right before we started the show. Minority Report. Spielberg. Ironically enough, I kind of went on a Spielberg. Well, weird. Maybe he was like in my head. Right, Tom Cruise. Everybody knows it. Like 2000. Fuck, I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. Maybe I'll say maybe like 2006.
Six.
Well, I'm trying to remember when I think the latest 2006. I think it's actually 2002, 2004. Anyway, the point is when I said, Josh, you know, it feels like it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was a long time. Go back and look at that movie, and I remember during production, because I read everything, Spielberg was very, very trying to be as detailed as he could in terms of accurate predictions for the future of where the movie set in the future, near future, of like actually like what cars are gonna, you know, freeways and stuff like that we're talking, you know, and like everything. Go back and watch that movie and look at all the technology and see how much stuff is
Actually
already happening right now. That's where it's all going. Technology killed the radio star. That's another good one. Technology killed technology killed the movie star.
The film star. Movie star.
Technology killed the film star. You know that's the old, the very first. Do you know the story behind that? Okay, Josh doesn't know the story, so I'm going to wrap it up with the story, and then we're going to close. The very first music video, like MTV music videos, changed the music industry. Correct? Agreed?
Yes.
The very first music video played on MTV
was the video.
was
Yes.
Radio Killed the no wait, what was it?
Video killed the
radio star.
Yeah.
Like lives down in infamy, right? So how the internet is that for the film industry? Like YouTube killed the, but YouTube didn't, you know what I mean? It's just like the fucking technology killed.
It's the accessibility of the technology.
I don't know. That's good. We filled another show. Again, if you are a sponsor of this show, here's where I would give your second plug. But it's still nobody. Let's see. Next episode, I have it as the power of cinema. You know, I don't know, people. We'll see. This is RynoRyder's podcast. You're listening to the word. Josh Boyer, Ryan McCoy, RynoRyder out.